Okay, good evening and welcome to the first episode of The Odd Couple. I'm Arjun.
Hey, Siddharth over here.
And Dr. Sheesh in the house.
Ooh, sheesh.
Dr. Sheesh. Whoa. Okay, so one of us is a doctor.
Yeah.
Okay, Ashish, what kind of doctor are you? Are you like a veterinary doctor? Are you chiropractor, a fake doctor?
I'm the real deal, real doctor MBBS.
Like a frontline doctor. Are you a COVID warrior?
Yeah, I'd like to think that I am, but I'm not like on the front line.
So, what's today's topic, Arjun? What are we discussing?
Macha, are you an asshole?
Am I an asshole? Or in general?
We'll get to existential later, but generally, I was.
No, I'm just asking. Are you calling him an asshole? Or is the question?
It was just a question someone wanted to know today whether what sort of a boss I was, and he just randomly said, so like tough boss, good boss, or asshole boss. And then I just got to thinking, yeah, we know asshole bosses. I said, no, I'm not an asshole boss. And then I thought we just talk about assholes in general. So I did that intro thing of, are you an asshole?
But isn't asshole like beauty, like asshole lies in the eyes of the beholder types?
But I think there's a generally recognized species of asshole, no?
I don't know. I'll tell you, coming from the medical perspective, if we have to talk about that, it's all assholeness. And I think it's a necessity. It's an absolute necessity in medical fraternity because if you don't have an asshole boss, we can't afford to make mistakes. You need an asshole boss who's going to say, you can't afford to make a mistake. The amount of times you can afford to make a mistake is inculcated into you from day one we get into medical school. So if you fuck up, then you're screwed.
Are we confusing the definition of an asshole? Because somebody can be a very, very strict and highly demanding boss. At the same time, he need not be an asshole also, is what I'm trying to say.
That's a superb point. But you know what? We can define what an asshole is right now. But each person's perception of what an asshole is has different thresholds. That threshold depends on what that person perceives the other person to be.
Yeah, so each person's definition of an asshole is a little different, and if I'm extremely sensitive, then you can easily push my boundaries and then you can easily become an asshole in my eyes.
Yes, exactly.
Versus probably somebody who has a higher tolerance to nonsense.
That's what I'm trying to find out. I still believe there is a universally recognized asshole where we all nod and say, Masha, yeah, that guy, that person's
so
an
you're asking
asshole.
for the SD curve on the negative and the positive, and then you want to find out where is this asshole standing on either side of the positive and the negative curve, right? You're saying that there is an asshole. There's definitely a genuine asshole out there. If you ask across the board, you're going to have 100% answer of yes, this person is an asshole. Right? Is that what you're trying to say?
Exactly.
Correct. So who are the world's famous assholes? You have your Hitlers, you have your Muammar Gaddafis, Saddam Hussein, you have your great dictators, your Pol Pots, and all the crazy fellows like your Bolivars and mad fellows, Franco.
Hey,
right?
Simon Bolivar, freedom fighter.
Bolivar was
a
freedom fighter. Sorry. The guy who we fought against.
He's an asshole.
He was anti-asshole.
He was anti-asshole.
Yeah, like Mussolini and all these guys. I mean, I was reading this crazy story of how, this is like classic being an asshole, right? This is Muammar Gaddafi, who was the dictator of Libya, right? So back in 2009 or something, apparently his son, and his son's name is Hannibal Gaddafi, by the way. All right.
Oh, Libya, North Africa, Hannibal, Alps, elephants, Carthage. Whoa.
Carthage, yeah.
Okay.
So Hannibal Gaddafi basically in Switzerland, when he was staying there, along with his wife, beat up their house help or their hotel help or whatever it is. And he was imprisoned for 2 days while the investigation was. To counter that, because it was such a ego hit on Muammar Gaddafi, that he cut off all ties with Switzerland. He arrested some 2 Swiss businessmen, and I think they were tried for some visa irregularities and put in jail for 14 months or something like that. just because his son actually did a crime
Wow.
and they arrested him. And in the UN, he proposed that Switzerland should be partitioned between France and Germany. Like, dissolve the country of Switzerland. So that's being extreme
Yeah,
asshole,
that's
right?
an
Just because you
asshole.
can do and because you have so much oil power and Libya exports shitloads of oil, right?
Sid, that's a great asshole story because that is like the heart of the matter. Because when you say obvious assholes and you say like dictators like Gaddafi or Hitler and all that, we all know the large scale atrocity asshole. So discount the large scale atrocity asshole.
So you're basically talking about my neighbor who will come and tease my dogs and complain that they're barking. What an asshole! I'm not talking about my apartment complex, but I've heard where they say, okay, fine, there are 6 lifts.
Huh.
Okay, they'll say, okay, only one lift should be allowed for males.
Oh my god, that is serious asshole.
Yeah,
Really?
so there's a critical mass of assholes in a residential welfare association that everybody has to agree. And in case you put a complaint, people will basically say, okay, fine, we'll put it up for vote. Oh, sorry, your resolution lost 5-1. Too bad, this rule stands.
So no, so that goes back to the question of which Arjun raised, which was, what is a quintessential asshole? There is no quintessential asshole. He's just an asshole in front of you or not. There is no big existential big asshole. No, there is not. There is just an asshole, you know, and that just is based on the fact of whether he's in front of you and your perception to that moment at that period of time. That's about it.
But Arjun's question to me was, am I an asshole? Or are you an asshole in general? That is or the people who are listening, are they assholes for listening to us? So I understand when we are talking about other people, it's easy to bucket them into asshole, non asshole. I'm talking about myself. All right. If I'm talking about myself, have I been an asshole? Of course, I've been an asshole. I'd be lying, or anybody would be lying if
Yeah.
they said, oh,
I think you'd be an asshole to not accept that you're an asshole.
exactly. The moment you decide saying, "Oh, I'm not an asshole," 100% you're an asshole. Do not have a doubt.
Or can I just turn it up another notch up and just say, is being an asshole an evolutionary uphand that generally the tendency, because in psychology we've got there are different traits, right? So there are 5 traits of psychology. Okay, so which is extroversion, openness to expression, agreeableness, conscientiousness, and neuroticism. These are the 5 things. And what they say is that the most important of this to be successful is agreeableness or the lack of agreeableness. So when you have a lack of agreeableness, it means that you're a quintessential asshole. But it has an evolutionary advantage that you are a what is it an asshole. You're an asshole. So an example for this given was, you've got 2 parties. One party is an agreeable group, okay, which will just sit and down and agree to whatever you say, and you've got another group which is an asshole, which is they're never going to agree to anything which you have to offer. They always want it their way. Whatever they say, you've got to come to terms with that, right? So when a non-agreeable person meets an agreeable person, who do you think wins?
Okay, if that is the case, was Mother Teresa an asshole?
I think you can bring her into it simply because my explanation is none of these, good or bad, they weren't agreeable people. She was fighting for something, Mandela was fighting for something. They were being disagreeable people. They were not being agreeable.
Super point, Maja. Super point. Arjun kind of concise that, where he said that when you're in your struggle for achieving something, obviously you're an asshole for something. So he kind of, just because you're nice doesn't mean that you're good, and just because someone is mean doesn't mean that they're bad.
Agreed.
There are moments, right? So being an asshole is a valuable skill. Willingness to be disliked or upset people is a skill. Sometimes you have to play the bad man's role to do good for the people, and sometimes hurting someone's feeling is a necessity. Yeah, if someone's in a bad relationship and they're going on in it, you need to break that person's feeling and say, no, you're in a bad relationship, get out of it. You need to be that asshole in that person's life. So sometimes an asshole can be a good thing also.
Absolutely. I completely agree on that.
Yeah, and someone needs to do it. Someone needs to do it, and for that period, like, for me, maybe my father was an asshole in my life for a certain period until I grew up, and then I realized that no, he was steering me towards a path which was better for me, and at that period of time, I didn't understand it. I thought that, what, that why is he being an asshole in my life?
Otherwise, you would have grown up to be an asshole.
Exactly. So sometimes being an asshole is absolutely necessary. So that is my thing, that everybody is an asshole in everybody else's life. So it's all about perception of that moment of who you are, what is that situation, and sometimes the people who we think are assholes are our greatest patrons.
Agreed.
Yeah, but saying only maids can use one lift, those are assholes. Da.
Those are complete assholes.
Those are real assholes.
I saw something the other day, which was a reporter was asking Nelson Mandela about this Gaddafi and Fidel Castro and stuff like that. And his answer to them was so beautiful. He said that, just because a political writer feels that I have to agree to it, that this guy is an asshole, it doesn't mean that I need to. If this person is trying to help my country improve by not just saying it but doing something for my country to improve, then for me he's a great person, and I will support what that person is saying.
Yeah, for him it was pure objectivity.
Objective, exactly. And I think objectivity is the correct statement over here, which is that for each person there's a different objectiveness, as to what makes that person an asshole and what doesn't make that person asshole in you.
Or even in general friend circles, like if there is an asshole or a generally regarded thing, but you've never seen that side of him, that's what your stance would be. Like so many times we've had the conversation, no?
Right.
Hey, with me he's okay, da. Yeah, with me she's fine. With me I've always been fine with her.
Yeah, they didn't do anything to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, you can't equate that both ways. Maybe because you've got a great equation with that person doesn't mean that that person has to have a great equation with the other person. Okay? Like I have great chemistry with Sidhu. Like we can agree, we can disagree, we can agree to disagree. It's fine. And the next day, if we have agreed and we disagreed with each other, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But I can't have that same type of equation with the other guy, because maybe for one, I don't give him that liberty, and two, maybe he doesn't reciprocate that same liberty with
Correct.
either. So that is
Yeah, but being an asshole is not a continuous state of being, right? So this neighbor uncle might be an asshole to me or in general to other people, but to his grandkid, he might be the greatest thing
He's
in the
the
world.
loving father and husband.
Church going, God fearing.
maybe that's what makes him an asshole to the others. He's very protective of his family.
Exactly. That's exactly my point. The tags that we give people, I think that is a problem also, because we kind of generalize either the term asshole or the term being a nice person, or we just throw it around so easily that every saint has a past, every sinner has a future. My point is, everybody has been an asshole at some point in their life, whether you like it or not.
Yes, you can't take 2 steps in this world without someone having an opinion on what your 2 steps. So you are always going to be an asshole in somebody's life. So everybody is an asshole. It's just you're not an asshole in your life, but you're an asshole in somebody else's life. That's as simple as what it is.
I wonder if goldfishes are assholes.
Goldfishes must be complete assholes, Dab.
What is the definition of an asshole? We've not the whole thing. We never defined what the dictionary says an asshole is.
Macha, there is apparently a generic dictionary accepted meaning of an asshole regard to a person. It's very simple. A stupid, irritating or contemptible person. Wow.
Okay, guys. So the moral of the story is we've been the asshole to keep you guys waiting for 20 minutes to read out the definition, which is so simple, but we went around the whole world and to a goldfish. But then the next question to be asked is, was Webster an asshole? The guy who wrote the dictionary.